Ash from Super Videos, back for another video for season 4 of Fear the Walking Dead. So they just released a new teaser for season 4 of Fear the Walking Dead. It's a character teaser. It's actually pretty interesting. There's some subtle hints and subtle things in there that definitely do get me not only excited but interested in where the story is going. Now, there are some things that I don't necessarily like, but I'm very interested to know how they might want to work it out into the story. So let's take a look at this teaser.
It's not going to work out, how do you think?
We have a few shots of Morgan Jones with his bow staff, and he's saying it's not going to end out the way you think. Now, I'm sure this has something to do with the story. I'm not sure if this relates to the events in The Walking Dead or Fear the Walking Dead, because he is crossing over. So we don't know whether him saying this is connected to anything from the original or if it's connected to something in Fear. Because of course, we don't know about the timeline of the crossover. So it's going to be very interesting, but just going back to what he said, it's not going to end out the way you think. I'm sure that has some significant meaning. Otherwise, why would they put it in this teaser? Definitely very excited to get to see what that's about.
Eyes open, stay close.
How is it going to hurt you?
Who did you lose?
We have Nick saying, "Who did you lose?" and not exactly sure who he is talking to. Maybe talking to a new character. Maybe Althea, maybe John, maybe Naomi, or maybe even Morgan. That would be interesting. Nick talking to Morgan, asking him, "Who did you lose?" And then maybe we will get Morgan talking a little bit about the Walking Dead characters. So that might be something that's going to be very interesting.
I call it a pass.
I do want to go back to the Walker because, one, it looks more decayed than Fear the Walking Dead walkers usually do, which I think is an indicator of the timeline. The more decayed the walker, that means more time has passed. So I think that's pretty much a good indicator of what timeline we're going to be in when the crossover happens and when Fear the Walking Dead starts. The other thing that I do want to mention is that this walker here looks a little weird. I don't know what it is. It looks odd in my opinion. It doesn't look as walker looking as a walker should look like. Now, I'm not saying it's a whisper or anything. For comic readers, you know what I'm referring to, but it's definitely interesting because it doesn't really look like a normal walker would look like. The mouth just doesn't look the way the walkers look. I might be wrong about that. I might be looking too much into this. And going back to the whisperer theory, I'm definitely not a fan of this theory. I hope that that's not the case because I feel like there's a lot of things that don't necessarily work out if that's the case. We have a few shots of this new character, Althea, and what I absolutely love about that is that they basically match her face with a walker and just go back and forth between the two. I absolutely love that. I think that was a pretty nice touch to the teaser. And we have a few shots of Alicia. She's holding a pretty interesting weapon. I don't know what that is. Honestly, it looks like some sort of medieval kind of weapon.
You can trust us.
Alicia says, "You can trust us," possibly talking to one of the characters that are going to be introduced. Maybe Morgan, maybe Althea, maybe John, maybe Naomi. We have this shot of someone making a fist. It looks like it's Morgan's hands. Then we have this very, very interesting shot. We have this walker, again, a very decayed walker. Again, it doesn't necessarily look like a walker. If you look at the eyes, it does not look like a walker. It looks like a cut out part in the eyes. It looks like it could possibly be the skin of a walker. And he is basically making a fist. When was the last time walkers made a fist? It does not happen. So the face itself and the fist that the walker is making definitely point to the fact that we might be seeing the whispers. Again, I'm not a fan of that. I don't know how they're going to make it make it work. I'm interested to see it, but I'm not a big fan of it. But I'm not gonna lie, this looks like it's a whisper. I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. The eyes are definitely one thing that do kind of give that away, that do kind of hint at that. But making a fist also adds to it as well. A few shots back and forth between Nick's face and a Walker face. Very cool. Now let me entertain this idea that they are bringing the whispers in Fear the Walking Dead first. Then going back and forth with these characters and walkers or people who look like walkers could potentially mean that these characters will become whispers. Again, I'm not a fan. I think that it's not going to work out right if they want to do it that way. It could, but there's a lot of holes that would be created in the story if they go that route. And this, if it's true, definitely does not help if Fear the Walking Dead is trying to be its own unique thing. But I'm going to be perfectly honest with you guys. The hints that I'm seeing in this teaser do definitely point to that. Now, they could be misleading us. That's definitely possible because that theory has been around for a while. Ever since Fear started and we saw Nick putting blood on himself. So the writers could potentially be having fun with this. Then we have this kind of shot of this community. I don't recognize it. I don't know whether we've seen this place or not. I don't think that we have.
There's nothing left.
There's always a choice. We can all make a go of it in there. We just work together.
And then she says we can all make it work. We just have to work together. She's definitely talking to a new character that's been introduced, asking them to, come together with them, work together as a group. Could be Morgan, could be anyone. But we have this shot of Morgan with his bow staff. Definitely very cool that they're integrating Morgan and him being a master with the bow staff in Fear the Walking Dead. Which does, again, point out to some sort of hint about the timeline. Morgan, before he met Eastman, he wasn't that good with the bow staff. So that indicates that at least this timeline is going to be after Eastman. I'm a massive believer that this is going to be Morgan after the events of All Out War from Season 8 of Walking Dead. But that put aside, based on just what we see, this is Morgan after Eastman. So that's basically what we can take from that.
We're always on our own.
And then the teaser ends with Morgan saying, in this world, we're always on our own, which is very interesting. Again, it has some connections to Morgan's mindset with what we see currently in Fear the Walking Dead, Season 8. So that's also another hint and something that's very interesting. The season premiere for Fear the Walking Dead Season 4 will be Sunday, April 15. For those of you that don't know, it's going to air right after the finale of Season 8 of Walking Dead. So there's going to be no time in between. This is because of the crossover. They're doing Fear the Walking Dead and Walking Dead episodes back to back because they want to make this crossover transition feel natural and work. But definitely an interesting teaser. Very excited for Fear the Walking Dead Season 4 and this crossover, and I hope that, whatever the case may be, whether it's connected to the Whispers or whatever it may be, I hope that it's interesting, that it's entertaining, and that it stays loyal to the comics, it stays loyal to the Walking Dead's original, and it works in terms of the story, and it doesn't take away anything from the Walking Dead's original. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video.